Okay, welcome to day 8 of the growth. This is the second set that we've planted. Now this one is mostly flowers and that one's mostly herbs. You'll notice that in a couple of these, on the flowers, we just kind of sprinkled all the seeds in there and did not follow the 2 per 1. Now over here is herbs. We also kind of spread a couple of them and did it that way, and a couple of them are the 2 method, but an extra seed got dropped in there. Now here's the stuff that I planted on camera last week. As you can see, they're starting to grow fairly tall, so we've lowered the lights a little bit. It's probably closer to 3 inches at this point, maybe 2.5 off the top of the leaves. We've done that so they don't get as leggy as they're starting to get. Now, like I said here, this is another 2, but then I sprinkled that extra one in there on accident. But these all have their base leaves from the seeding. And if you look right there, those tiny leaves coming up between those 2, that's going to be true leaves, but they're not there yet. As you can see, some of them have sprouted. These are pepper, so they haven't really started yet. Those are tomatoes. And here are some of the other ones. So they're growing fairly well at this point. We've got good sprouts. Trying to see if I can get a better up view of them. So none of them have started their second leaves. They may just barely be starting, but it's still early in the process. So that's where we're at day 8. We'll be back in about a week for day, what is that, 14 or 15. We've only watered once. And like I said, we water from the bottom up. So we take one of the trays out and then, or one of the cells out and then push the water in. That's just the way we prefer to do it. We've watered one time, and I think it was yesterday that we put some water in there. But so far they're looking pretty healthy and they have a good start. So we'll wait until next week, give you another update. See you in a week. Okay, welcome to day 14. I'm just giving you a quick look at the seeds, how they're growing. We just watered them this morning, again from the bottom. Those are our lovely tomato plants over there. They're starting nice and healthy. And then down here, you can see most of them. Some of them still have not come up yet, but we're giving them time. Now over here, these are our herbs, and you'll notice that on the herbs we do something a little different than we do with others, where we plant a bunch of seeds in there, and then what we'll do is we'll just move the entire seedling, or the entire cell, into its own planting area. Now one thing that's really evident today is the true leaves. They're starting to come out pretty strong. Now I'm going to show you a couple pictures. This, I don't remember what type of plant it is because I'm not looking at the card. But as you can see here, let me find it there. My big fat finger, this one, that one, that one. Those are true leaves. Normally you have 2 per 1. But if you look in the center, there's the start of its true leaf. The true leaf is the second set of leaves that come out. So this is the first week that the true leaves have really been popping out. And I'll show you another picture of our tomatoes and what theirs look like. On this one here, this is the start leaf or the seed leaf. And then right here is the true leaf. So they're still really starting to come up. The other thing you'll notice is we adjusted the lights a little bit last week to where it was closer, and the reason we did that is because we want them shorter and fatter, not long and skinny. Because if they get long and skinny, they'll start doing what this one's doing and bending. The bends, you don't have a real strong group. Now the other thing that we're seeing happening is like with this set right here, these two guys, we just flipped this case all the way around because the way it was sitting, it was causing the stems to bend. So what we did is we adjusted them so that the light's coming in from a different angle to straighten them back out. Hopefully these will straighten out, but these are tomatoes, and that there is a really weird thing you can do with tomatoes even if they fall over, and that we can show you when it comes closer to that. But as you can see, about 85% is growing up. These are peppers, and they just take a while to grow. As you can see right there, that one just started up. Hands coming in. This one over here just started coming up. So we just got to give them time, and they'll go just fine. So this is week 2, the end of 2, 14 days. And they're growing fairly well. Next week, since a lot of them do have the second set of leaves and things, we are going to go ahead and give it its first dose of fertilizer, which is between 1/4 and 1/2 scoop per gallon of water. And again, we're just going to water them from the bottom so that it sucks up all the moisture and the fertilizer. But that'll be next week, and we'll give you a quick look at that. But so far, things are coming up nicely. We are both very pleased at how they're coming up. And here's a zoom of the rest of the room, by the way. As you can see, we have a ton of citronella, angel wings. It's coming up really nice. And on this table, there's a bunch of starts for angel wings. We also have some sweet potatoes. Where the heck are you? Sweet potatoes right there. Well, this is week 3, 21 days in. You'll notice that the seedlings are almost up to the light, which we're probably going to have to adjust again to give them a little bit more space. But they do have a little legginess to them. I was a little too high at the start, so they shot up. But they have good growth. As you can tell, the majority of them all have their second leaves and more. We did have some, these are peppers that we're looking at here, that did not want to start or are very slow in starting. So the ones that didn't start, we went ahead and reseeded them, replanted them. These are more peppers that we have, but these are the hot ones. The one in front is a ghost, and I don't remember. Chinese 5 is what's behind it. Now, both of these were harvested. The seeds were harvested by us or the person that gave us the ghost pepper, and we're not sure if they're going to actually germinate or not. So, again, we reseeded them. Other than that, there's not a whole lot that's going on during this time. We're watering them 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the soil. And this week, Sherry's going to go ahead and feed the seedlings. And by feed, what I mean is to add fertilizer to the water. It's the soluble stuff that we have. And what she does is she takes a gallon milk jug, and with the fertilizer that we have, it normally requires about a scoop for every gallon. So what she's going to do is cut that to between a quarter and a half of a scoop. And when she does that, she'll go ahead and water it like we always do from the bottom. And that'll provide some nutrients. The reason that you want to start doing that now is because this soil has no nutrients. All it is like coconut fiber, things like that don't have a lot of nutrients, if any. So once your seeds are starting their second, you need to start thinking about how often you want to add additional feed. Now, you don't want to over fertilizer because that'll kill your plants in a heartbeat. But you want to, make sure that they get a little bit so that they can continue. Now, one other thing I haven't mentioned is once your seedlings start to get larger, and I'm talking maybe another 50% bigger, what you'll want to do is put a light fan in the room to get some airflow, and that'll simulate the wind from the outside, so it'll start to toughen them up to make them stronger to survive in the actual outside air. Because right now they're very tender, and the slightest bit of agitation could irritate them, if not kill them. So you've got to start thinking about, I would say about the 5th week or so, is having some sort of fan in here to gently produce some breeze so that the stems will start to toughen up, get stronger, get bigger, so that when it's outside and breezy, it's not going to knock the plant down. So that's about all you can really do at this point in time, because there really isn't anything to do except for watch them grow. And if you do have stuff that doesn't germinate, now is a great time to reseed it in hopes, yes, I said hopes, that it will, germinate and give you a viable plant. So that's all I got for today. What I'm going to do is kind of put these clips together and put them all out in a group, probably in the next week or two. So, like I said, this is week 3, 21 days in, and they are looking pretty good. I'm very happy with the growth on the tomatoes. They're looking great. We have one that didn't come up, the Tamarillo, but we did reseed it. Hopefully it'll take. So, all right, see you in a week. This is week 4. We are just fed today. We didn't actually feed last week. We decided to wait for another week. But as you can see, everything's growing nicely. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. These red ones, they're something we're trying. We're going to grow some starters for my parents to see how they do. So hopefully they'll come up pretty soon. Otherwise, we may just steal from some of our own and then grow those out for ourselves. But still not much is happening. They're just growing. It takes time. So we did have a couple still not start. I don't know if it's germination wise or they just gonna take a little bit longer. So we got a pretty good start on things. We will plant some direct sows if we don't have enough or we don't have the right type. So This is just to get us started. But things are looking real good. I'm quite pleased with them. The tomato plants are getting bushier now. They're a little long, but they'll do fine. And these are the other ones over here. So we wait. We will wait, and we will wait. Hopefully, it'll get warm and stay warm soon, but not until April 15th or so, where we think about putting these in buckets. So they've got a little bit of ways to go. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Welcome to week 5. Things are going pretty well. Here's most of our flowers. There's our herbs. Sherry had to cut back some of the tops because they just kept growing so darn tall. She's put them in the refrigerator, and we're probably going to dehydrate them and use them for spices. Up here you could see some of our tomatoes. They're getting nice and big. The ones we just planted for other reasons, they're starting up pretty good too. There's all of our tomatoes. We got some cat grass here for the dog, but some of the peppers did not come up hardly at all. We'll probably have to direct sow to see if we can get those, and there they are. One's in the middle. They're starting, but they're peppers. They're slow. So, and then of course here's flowers, some chives, some lemon, rosemary. Things are going pretty well. Those are all the flowers in through there. Over here, these are some other peppers. These were experiments. These were stuff we harvested last year and someone else harvested. So they're peppers. We don't know if they're going to come up or not, but we'll try. And then, of course, there's her herbs. She did trim the tops because they were getting a little tall. They were extremely healthy. We talked about legginess. And if you look at these, you would think that they're pretty, tall. But actually, they're nice. They're about the perfect. If you look, they've got a lot of strength. They're not tall and skinny like these little guys here. That's the early forms of legginess, but we're going to see if we can correct that. But here they're nice, bushy. They're growing tall. We've had to move a couple of the flowers because they were getting so darn tall. Here they are. Let me see if I can score. Not getting a good angle. But they're called sweet peas, but they're flowers, and they grow, and as you can see, they grab onto everything. So we've decided to pull those out and put them in a separate one into the main room. And other than that, like I said, this is the less than exciting part of the growing process. Now, next weekend, what we're going to do is we're going to put together a couple of things. We're going down to Florida, so we're going to bring a couple things down for my mom and dad. So we've got to decide what we're going to do, and we'll show you next week. Bye.